Cutaway perspective view toward 150 degrees E into the depth-converted Planum Boreum SHARAD 3D volume, showing radiator and power blue high, white low from previously known black, and buried red features within the North Polar Cap. The SHARAD nodata zone is due to MRO's orbit inclination. Depth conversion assumes pure water ice mu superscript 1 3.15. Scale as approximate varies in this perspective, with vertical exaggeration of 1361. Credit Planetary Science Institute three-dimensional 3D subsurface radar volumes generated from thousands of 2D radar profiles are revealing new information about the polar regions of Mars, including more accurate mapping of CO2 and water ices, the discovery of buried impact craters, and new elevation data. Senior scientist Nathaniel E. Putzig is the lead author of the new Icarus paper three-dimensional radar imaging of structures and craters in the Martian polar caps. This information will help scientists better understand Martian climate changes and may allow them to determine the age of the polar caps without using climate models. The 3D data volumes were assembled from observations by the Shallow Radar SHARAD sounder on board NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter MRO during more than 2,000 passes over each Martian pole. An example is the more accurate mapping of the CO2 ice deposits in the south that allows us to provide a new larger estimate of their volume. Sublimation of that CO2 ice into the atmosphere, which is thought to have occurred at various times in Martian history, would more than double the current atmospheric pressure, said Putzig. That in turn would allow liquid water to be stable at the surface in many more locations than it is today. One type of feature in the polar caps that was never detected or mapped with singly orbit radar profiles is buried impact craters. In the 3D radar volumes, we can identify and map owl-shaped features that appear to be buried impact craters, many of them at the base of the icy layers, Putzig said. To estimate the age of planetary surfaces, scientists combine information about the number, size, and distribution of craters and knowledge of cratering rates over time within the solar system. Cutaway perspective viewed toward 315 degrees E into the depth-converted Planum Australe SHARAD 3D volume, showing radiator and power blue high, white low from previously known black, and buried red features within the South Polar Cap. The SHARAD nodata zone is due to MRO's orbit inclination. Depth conversion assumes pure water ice mu superscript 1 3.15. Scale as approximate varies in this perspective, with vertical exaggeration of 1361. Credit Planetary Science Institute. Our analysis of the apparent craters at the base of the northern cap yields an age of about 3.5 billion years, which is consistent with the previously estimated age for the surrounding plains from surface cratering statistics, Putzig said. This overall agreement gives us greater confidence in identifying buried craters as we continue to search for them within the ices and beneath the southern cap. The 3D makes these types of investigation much more efficient than our work in the past, and some things that were formerly impossible are now done quickly, said co-author and research scientist Isaac B. Smith. This new way of using the radar data saves us from painstakingly mapping every feature in thousands of 2D profiles. With the 3D volumes, we can see things immediately that took months or years to map with the 2D data set. Another addition that the 3D volumes provide is greater topographic coverage of the poles. The Mars Global Surveyor (MGS) spacecraft provided topographic information from its Mars Orbiter Laser Altimeter MOLA instrument between 86.95 degrees north and south, but latitudes more poleward than that were not well measured. For 2D profiles, this topographic data helps to distinguish radar reflections from surface features on either side of the spacecraft ground track from subsurface reflections that arrive at the same time. The prior lack of topographic data at very high polar latitudes made this important step impossible. However, the MRO orbit reaches latitudes of 87.45 degrees, and surface reflections mapped in the 3D radar volumes over both caps now provide elevation data in these latitude zones covering 28,500 square kilometers. These new data will allow more accurate radar models for polar observations. Explore further 3D images reveal features of Martian polar ice caps. More information. Nathaniel E. Putzig et al. Three-dimensional radar imaging of structures and craters in the Martian polar caps, Icarus 2017. doi 10.1016J Icarus.2017.09.023 Journal reference Icarus provided by Planetary Science Institute.